Somewhere in your local hardware store, there's a 100-foot aisle of wood sealants, stains, and weatherproofing coatings, bright cans, confident labels, words like Ultra Protect and 10-year formula. And every single one of them is selling you the same promise, that they'll stop your deck, your fence, your beams, your furniture from rotting. Here's the part nobody in that aisle wants to say out loud. 2 years from now, you'll be back, sanding it down, buying another can, doing it all again. That's not an accident. That's the business model. Now look at this. A mineral, mined out of the ground, sold for less than the price of a coffee. Sitting quietly in the laundry aisle because most people only know it as a stain remover. But mix this with water, brush it onto raw wood, and you are doing something that mining scientists, pest control engineers, and an entire national government have already proven works for decades, not seasons. So why isn't this mineral on the shelf next to the sealants? Not because it doesn't work, it's because there's nothing to sell you twice. You can't trademark a rock that comes out of an open pit mine in the California desert. You can't build a recurring revenue stream on something that, done right, you buy once. And that's the real story here. Not a hidden ingredient, but a hidden incentive. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the multi-billion-dollar wood coatings industry never had a reason to tell you about this, and exactly how to use it yourself. To understand why this mineral matters, you have to go back further than any hardware store. Long before it ever touched a 2x4, borax was already one of the most valuable substances moving along the Silk Road. Traders called it tinkle, hauled by camel caravan out of remote lake beds in Tibet and Kashmir, across mountain passes into the workshops of Persian and Indian metalsmiths. Why did they want it so badly? Because borax does something almost no other natural substance does. It dissolves metal oxides at extreme heat, which made it priceless to goldsmiths trying to solder fine jewelry without ruining it. For over 1,000 years, entire trade economies were built around a mineral most people today only associate with laundry. Now move forward to the 1880s to one of the harshest places in North America, Death Valley. Prospectors discovered enormous borax deposits sitting almost at the surface. The problem was getting it out. So mining companies built 20 mule teams, literally strings of 20 animals, to haul wagons loaded with raw borax 165 miles across open desert to the nearest railroad. It became such a defining feat of American industry that the brand born from it, 20 Mule Team Borax, is still sold in stores today, over a century later. This wasn't some fringe folk remedy. This was heavy industry built entirely around one affordable mineral. But here's the example that should really make you stop and think. In the 1930s, government scientists in New Zealand ran into a national problem. The country's main construction timber, radiata pine, wasn't naturally durable. It rotted and it attracted insects. They needed a fix that could be applied at industrial scale, cheaply, safely, for every single home being built. After years of testing, they landed on treating the green timber with boron. By 1952, it wasn't a suggestion anymore. It became standard practice and eventually a legal requirement for structural framing timber across the entire country. That decision is now over 70 years old. Walk into almost any home built in New Zealand since, and the timber holding up the walls has been protected this exact way. Builders in North America have referred to it as the green treatment, precisely because it's so low in toxicity compared to older chemical preservatives. This isn't ancient legend dressed up for a thumbnail. It's a documented government-mandated building standard that quietly outlasted generations of trendier products because it simply kept working. So what is actually happening at the microscopic level? Wood rot isn't really about water. Water is just the trigger. The actual damage is caused by fungi that colonize the wood and produce specific enzymes. Think of these enzymes as tiny keys that unlock the wood's cell walls so the fungus can feed on the sugars trapped inside. No key, no meal, no rot. Boron, the active element in borax, interferes directly with the fungus's ability to produce those enzymes. Without them, the fungus simply can't break the wood down, so decay stalls before it ever really starts. It works differently against wood-destroying insects like termites and beetles. Boron isn't a repellent, meaning insects don't detect it and avoid it. They chew straight through the treated wood as normal. But once ingested, it disrupts their digestive process, so they lose the ability to extract nutrients from what they're eating. Slowly, the colony starves. Now compare that to how a can of sealant actually works. Sealants and paints are, chemically, a surface film, a barrier sitting on top of the wood. That's it. The moment sunlight, foot traffic, or weather cracks that film, and it always eventually does, water and organisms get straight through the breach, and the clock starts over. Borat treatment doesn't sit on the wood, it penetrates into the fiber itself, which is exactly why the protection isn't undone by a single scratch or scuff. And on safety, this is one of the most well-documented, low-toxicity preservatives available. Independent industry sources describe borate's toxicity to humans and household pets as roughly comparable to ordinary table salt, which is exactly why it's remained the preferred option for treating framing timber inside occupied homes for over 70 years. Let's talk numbers, because this is where the real picture comes together. The global wood coatings market, every can of stain, sealant, and varnish sold worldwide, was valued at over $12 billion in 2025 alone, and it's projected to keep climbing toward the $20 billion mark within the next decade. That is an enormous, mature industry, dominated by a small handful of major coatings manufacturers. And that industry runs on one simple mechanic: repeat purchases. A sealant that lasted 50 years without reapplication would be a financial disaster for a company whose entire model depends on you coming back every 2 to 5 years. It's not that anyone is hiding a secret formula, it's that there has never been a financial incentive to shout about a raw commodity mineral that anyone can buy for pennies and never has to buy again. That's the other half of this. Borax is mined directly out of the ground at massive open-pit operations, most famously in Boron, California, which produces a significant share of the world's supply. It's a raw commodity, not a proprietary formula. Nobody can patent a mineral. Nobody can trademark it into a premium $50 product with a fancy name and a marketing budget. There's no exclusive intellectual property to protect, which means there's no company positioned to spend millions advertising it to you. Compare the economics directly. A name brand exterior wood sealant runs $30 to $50 a can and asks you back in 2 to 3 years. A pound of pure borax, enough to treat a serious amount of wood, costs a fraction of that, and done correctly, it doesn't ask you back for decades. Here's exactly how to use this yourself. You'll need pure borax powder, the plain laundry aisle kind with no additives, hot water, a plastic bucket since borax can react with some metals, a stir stick, a natural bristle brush or pump sprayer, rubber gloves, safety goggles, and an N95 dust mask for mixing. Start by prepping the wood. Borax only works if it can soak into bare wood fibers, so any existing paint, stain, or sealant has to be sanded off first. Clean the surface of dust and debris, and make sure it's completely dry before you start. Next, mix your solution. A reliable ratio is about 1 cup of borax powder per gallon of hot water. Hot water is important, since it dissolves the powder far more completely than cold. Stir until there's no residue left at the bottom of the bucket. Then apply it generously. Brush or spray the solution onto every surface of the wood, working it into the grain. For older or more porous wood, apply a second coat about 15 to 20 minutes after the first, while it's still damp, to help it penetrate deeper. Let it dry fully for at least 24 to 48 hours. And here's the step almost every tutorial online leaves out: borax is water soluble. That's part of what makes it work, but it also means that if treated wood is going to be left exposed to rain, like a deck, a fence, or outdoor furniture, you need to seal it afterward with an exterior oil, stain, or sealant once the borax treatment has fully dried. The top coat locks the borate inside the wood instead of letting weather slowly wash it back out. For interior wood like attic framing, workshop beams, furniture, or tool handles, no top coat is needed at all, since it won't face that kind of sustained water exposure. And one more honest note, this treatment isn't designed for wood in direct continuous ground or water contact, like a fence post buried in soil. For that, it needs to be paired with a physical moisture barrier, not relied on alone. A few safety basics before you start. Wear your gloves and mask while mixing the dry powder. Don't use this on cutting boards, countertops, or anything that will come into contact with food. Keep pets and kids clear of the area until everything is fully dry, wash your hands after handling it, and store any leftover powder in its original container, out of reach of children. That's it. No specialty tools, no annual maintenance schedule, no return trip to the hardware store every spring. Just a mineral that traders once carried across mountain ranges by camel. That an entire mule team industry was built around in the desert, and that one national government trusted enough to legally require in every new home for the last 70 years. Nature already solved this problem a long time before anyone put it in a can and charged you for it twice. If this changed the way you'll think about that next can of sealant, don't let it stop here. Subscribe and share this with the next person you see standing in that hardware store aisle about to spend $40 on a problem a $2 box already solves.